Where am I? I'm parked somewhere else. I have to take my father to an appointment, so I've got maybe 15-20 minutes to sit here. Probably not even that. What are we going to talk about today? Well, I wanted to do a talk about what would be my ideal relationship situation. This is what I was thinking on driving up here. Just do a ideal situation. I haven't got notes for this. I am kind of hungry, to be honest. I do have a coffee with me, but maybe if I just had this and then, maybe I'll talk better if I had a little bit of coffee, because I haven't long got up. I was asleep and Dad said, oh, I'm going to an appointment in 20 minutes. Oh, I woke up. I was worried of getting this all over me now when I open it. There is a chip shop by there. I don't even know. I don't it looks like it's open. No, I won't go in there. I'm not going to go and buy chips right now. That's something I could do. Eating chips in the car, have a bag of chips. The thing is, bag of chips tends to be quite large, and I can't eat a whole bag of chips these days. I've often thought about keeping plastic knives and forks in the glove box, but I've got so many other things I'm keeping in the glove box. Yeah, there's no room. There's no room. I mean, I'd start keeping stuff in the boot, but if I start keeping more stuff in the car, it's more weight to carry around. Get on with it. Right. It's more weight to carry around. So my ideal life, I guess, would be, I've said before, living in Monmouth, because I like Monmouth. Monmouth is a nice town. It's my favourite town. The actual Monmouth, not any of the Monmouths in the States, but the actual Monmouth, the original Monmouth. The Monmouth which is the mouth of the Mono, because it's a town where the Wye and the Mono rivers, the confluence of these two rivers, so it's the mouth of the Mono. And you've got the Mono Bridge, the original Monmouth. The place where Geoffrey of Monmouth lived. The guy that wrote King Arthur novels, stories. Yeah, it's an old place. There's lots of old buildings, old terraces, and really old terraces, older than the ones here. Yeah, I'd like to live there. The problem is, when I envisage this perfect life, I'm always... I go on Rightmove and I look at the houses and I favourite most of them. And a lot of the houses there are really nice houses. They're very big houses. They're also very expensive houses. Now, I got two on my favourites list at the moment. I really, really like in that town. I really love to live in. And one of them is about 560,000. The other one is 800. It's over 800, almost 900,000, something like that. It's over 800. Say £860,000. I'm sure it's not 850. I'm sure it's over that, but it's not 900. So £860,000. That's a lot of money. For a house. The thing is, I also go on Rightmove for my own town, and I sort by price lowest to highest. And there's places about £120,000. So you can see the difference in price for the towns. But then these are tiny little, 1-2 bed places in the middle of the terrace. Well, like this street. But then we're kind of lucky in this town that the terraces are larger than what you get up the valleys. But the valleys ones might be a little bit cheaper. Due to the lack of infrastructure up there, your lack of public transport could be difficult if up the valleys and that. But Monmouth is what I really like. That's where I want to go. So we both be married. I'm living in Monmouth, and I would like to carry on the same sort of style of life I've got now, where I'm constantly working on creative projects. I'll be at my computer, or writing, or drawing, or something, or working on the car. Because if I have my own house and money, I'd be working on the car as well. Constantly working on a creative project, and I would have to have my own room for my projects, which would be... These houses do actually have enough, because they're large houses in Monmouth. These two houses have got my favourites list. They got enough space so I could actually have my own room for my own projects. And I feel that she can have her own room for her own projects. And it'll be a similar bedroom setup. A similar bedroom setup where I would have my own room and she would have her own room. And we could live independently. She can decorate what she wants. It's like the idea of couples sleeping together. I don't understand. I don't understand why you want that. Why you want someone could get up in the night and disturb you, and suddenly then you've got a bad day in work because you haven't had enough sleep because your partner's got up at night. It just seems like an awkward situation. An awkward situation of have a couple sleeping in the same bed. I mean, have separate rooms where you can still live independently. I just believe that you can still have a marriage, you can still have a successful relationship. You don't necessarily need to have the same bedroom, and you can decorate your room as you want. You can have your own books on the shelf. You can have, if you want to keep your clothes on the floor or on a chair, then you can do that. You can do that if you want a double room, if you want a double bed, if you want a single bed. If you want to keep a light on at night and another person doesn't want to keep a light on at night, it just seems like a more ideal situation. If you're wealthy enough to have a house with multiple bedrooms, I just think that's a better setup. Still live independently. Doesn't mean you can't love each other. It doesn't mean you can't live together. I think the separate bedroom idea is better for a more successful marriage, I think. Yeah. No, we still share the same kitchen, still share the same living room, but I'm not interested in watching films, TV series or movies. And she's like on a free time day, I could be working on my projects at the machine in my own room, in the, I'll call it the computer room, but it'd be, she'd have her own computer, like maybe she uses a different operating system or a different computer system, so we're not getting in each other's way, and we can work our own creative projects in our own rooms. And she could be watching, say, a movie or a TV series, or have friends round for coffees or something, and they could be chatting out there, and I can be in my room, and then vice versa happens. Doesn't mean we can't go out on day trips. Say, for example, she wanted to work in the medical field, and she got a job in the thing. The NHS has had more local services. The last 10, 20 years, they've had more local services. The surgeries have gotten physically larger here. They've built new surgeries, and a lot of the services which would be done in hospitals are now done in the surgeries, the local surgeries. Monmouth has one. Monmouth probably has more than one, but I don't know. I only know where one is. I know it's over the other side of the town from the two houses that I want, but I mean, no, I could drop her off in the morning. She'd have her own car. She'd have her own car because she'd have her own car and her own. And she could drive there in the morning. And my ideal day, which I thought of a scenario, is we get up in the morning, have breakfast together. She goes to work in the medical centre because that's what she wants to do, even though I'm hoping that we'd have enough money that she wouldn't have to work. That's what I'm hoping. So we're not struggling all the time, which is also a strain on a lot of couples and relationships. That's probably the biggest strain, isn't it? It's like the financial issues you have these days. So obviously that's a big thing to get over before this ideal relationship can happen. And I would go and do my creative projects, and she would go off to work in the medical centre. Let's just remember, it's just a hypothetical scenario. I'd be working on my videos, editing scripts, preparing car trips for whatever creative project I've got. The medical centres down here close for lunch. or at least one of them does. So they'll be getting around about 12, and I know she comes out at lunch. So I'll walk across to the town. I'll walk down the town. And come lunch, say I'll meet her in Costa. And we'll go have a light lunch in Costa. A coffee. Catch up. She can tell me what's happened in the morning, or what she can't legally tell me because it's a medical centre. And we'll have a chat, and anything she needs me to buy on the way home, so I'll go and buy on the way home. We'll just meet up for lunch. It doesn't have to be Costa, it could be anywhere, because there's several coffee shops in Monmouth. And then, and I'll come back, work on my projects. She can come back to work, and she comes back later, and we just lounge about in the garden, or talk about planning holidays, or just a relaxing, nice life. But I think that the key thing about this is living independently, having your own bedrooms, and I think a lot of people just couldn't get over that, couldn't understand. But then it's so that she can do what she wants, and then we can still do things together. Like say she wants to do a bake sale, we'd get together and make cakes and things, and pastries and things, and we could go and work on a bake sale on the weekend, and then take it down to one of the community centres or something. Doing creative projects together. Now, this, I don't want to call it fantasy, but it is a fantasy. What about this town, though? Because the houses are much smaller. Say it's a 2-bed terrace like this. We could still do it in this town. We could still. I guess this ideal scenario does count on having a lot of money, doesn't it? What if I never have a lot of money? It is an ideal situation. It's an idealist situation, isn't it? And there's a house for sale across the road. I don't know if it's a flat or a set of houses. But it is 3 stories. And most of these are just one up, one down. There was a nice coach house on one of these streets. I'm not sure if it's down there, because in one of the lanes there was a lovely coach house I wanted, but it was just 1 bedroom. Well, it was 1 bedroom, 1 stairs, and one kitchen diner at the bottom, and it was tiny. It was good enough for me on my own. And that was years ago now. How much was that? I can't remember how much that was. I know it wasn't that expensive. I know it wasn't that expensive at all, but it was still out of my budget. All right, Dad's coming back now, so I gotta stop recording, and I'll see you later.